A very good morning, class. So, yesterday we started with a new chapter of our Maths 2 syllabus. The name of the chapter was Linear Programming Problems. And I hope you all must have gone through the introduction part and clear with the concept. So, just for a quick revision, we'll just go with the meaning. Linear programming problems are nothing but techniques of optimization problem which helps us to find optimum solution, that is the best possible solution for a given problem, but subject to certain constraints or limiting factors. Also, class, I have given you a small activity that you have to find out some examples wherein you can solve problems with the help of optimization techniques. So if you have not done the activity, kindly do it so that it will give you a idea regarding how optimization problems are not just theoretical but can also be utilized in practical life as well. So yesterday class, I taught you all that LPP, in order to study the LPP topic, we have to study two parts. That is the formulation part and the solution part. In certain videos in the starting and tomorrow, day after tomorrow, for some time we'll be studying only about the formulation part. So this slide I've already shared you all and explained you all yesterday. It was divided into two parts. In certain sums we have to draw the table, and in certain sums we have to solve the inequations, the problems directly. So in certain lectures, in some of the lectures for the time being, our focus will be only on the sums in which we'll be forming the table. So the hints which I shared with you all were sums related to manufacturing, machines, diet, production, and in certain word problems where the words at least and at most does not appear. In all those sums, the table will be formed and we'll be solving the sum with the help of the table. Now, at least means minimum limit and at most means maximum limit. And those who get confused between these words can just remember for minimum greater equal to sign and for maximum less than equal to sign. That is opposite signs you have to put. So there are some hints as well. Now, when you will be dealing with minimum cost problems, the word problems, you will always specify the word requirements. So with minimum, always you have to attach the word requirements. Also, words like at least or not less than means minimum. So keep that in mind. Again, the sign is opposite, greater equal to. The same applies for maximum word problems. Whenever we'll be solving the word problems related to maximum, you have to utilize the word availability, and also words like at most or not more than means also means maximum. Again, the sign less than equal to the opposite sign. All right. So with this, we are starting with the first exercise of the chapter, exercise 6.1. So yesterday I already gave you all an example what kind of problems we'll be dealing with today. So here's another problem. I'm giving you 2 minutes to read the question and understand the topic and see to it whether you can recall what I taught you all yesterday. All right. So as you all see, they have already given you a table. So there is no need to take tension कि table आएगा कि table नहीं आएगा. Also, if you see, the sum is regarding manufacturing. So as I had told you all, sums related to manufacturing or production means the table will come. So already the table is given you all ready made. Always remember class, now the hint which I'm telling you all, pay attention to. In your syllabus, you will have only two variables. Keep that in mind. I repeat it again. In your syllabus, in your portion, you will always have two types or only two decision variables. All right. So always try to identify the products first, the variables first, and after that, you will start solving the sum. So I hope you all have read the sum. So can you all tell me what is the objective of this particular problem? What is the objective of this particular manufacturing firm? Yes, you all are correct. The objective is none other than maximizing the profit. As you can see, it's written in the last. What about the constraints? What are the limiting factor? So as you can see, they have written the line. The two types of gadgets are first processed in the foundry and then sent to the machine shop. The number of man hours of labor required for production and the number of man hours available for the firm. So basically, the constraints are time and labor. All right. And what are our decision variables? I told you all it will always be two. So the decision variables are they are producing or manufacturing gadget A and gadget B. So understood class, what type of things you have to identify first in the sum. So we'll start the sum like this. Let gadget A be X and gadget B be Y. As per the condition, the required table is which they have already given us. So I have modified the table a little, and as you can see, I have made the table like this. So in the table, you will basically have 3 columns and 2 or 3 rows depending upon number of constraints. So these are your decision variables. These are your constraints. So gadget A, we are taking X. Gadget B, we are taking Y. With maximum, you have to always use the word availability. So in foundry, gadget A takes 10 hours. Gadget B takes 6 hours. Total hours available is 60. As far as machine shops are concerned, gadget A 5 hours, gadget B 4 hours, and the maximum availability is 35 hours. As per the condition, the required inequations are. So as I told you, they are not equal to. They are either less or either greater. So as the sum is of maximum, in maximum, I told you opposite symbol, less than equal to will come. So the first inequation we are getting is 10x plus 6y less than equal to 60. Similarly, the second one, 5x plus 4y less than equal to 35. So as we are done with our inequations, I told you all we have to always mention the non-negativity constraint. And what was the explanation I taught you all? No firm can produce negative products, correct? No production can be done in negative numbers. So that is why this is very, very, very important part that you have to always write after finishing your constraint parts. So x comma y is always greater equal to 0. Now the objective function z, what was the objective function? To maximize the profit. So on the product gadget A, it is 30 rupees per unit, and on gadget B it is 20 rupees per unit. So Z is equal to 30x plus 21. So the formulation of above LPP problem is you have to write in this manner. Maximize Z is equal to 30x plus 20y subject to constraints. You have to mention your constraints, and last you have to write the non-negative constraints. Is the formulation clear of first sum? So this is how the formulation of the sums with table will be. So whether it is minimum or maximum, only the sign of the inequations will change. The pattern will remain the same. Okay. Moving on to the next sum. If you have not followed, pay attention to the next sum. I'm giving you 2 minutes to read the question. So again, if you see, the table is already given to you all. That means there is no tension regarding how the table will be formed. Always class, ask yourself, what is the objective? What are the constraints? And which are the decision variables? So I hope you all have finished reading the question. So can you all tell me what is the objective of this particular question? Yes, you all are correct. The minimum cost. You have to formulate the LPP to minimize the cost. What are the constraints over here now? Now this is a sum related to diet if you see. A cattle breeding firm. Okay, the diet is being made for cattle, for animals. So what are the constraints over here? All your three nutrients. Nutrients A, nutrients B, and nutrients C. Because I already told you all that the decision variables will always be two. So if three or more than three things come, it won't be your products, right? So what are the decision variables? The fodder, as you can see. So let fodder 1 be represented as X and fodder 2 be represented as Y. So with this, I'm sharing the solution. Pay attention. So our sum starts like this. Let fodder 1 be X and fodder 2 be Y. As per the condition, the required table is fodder 1X, fodder 2Y, minimum. Remember the hints slide? I told you all with minimum, you will always use the word requirements. Nutrient A, B, and C. The table we have already copy pasted. Now minimum requirement. If you all read the line carefully, what was mentioned? That the minimum requirements should be 14, 22, and 1 respectively. So the final values I have written in this column, that is 14, 22, and 1. As per the condition, the required inequations are, so 2x plus 1y, again minimum. In minimum, we use the sign greater equal to 14. 2x plus 3y greater equal to 22. 1x plus 1y greater equal to 1. So after finishing the constraints, we write down the non-negative constraints. So x comma y greater equal to 0. The objective function z, so it was rupees 3 per unit and the cost for fodder 2 was rupees 2 per unit. So your objective function z is equal to 3x plus 2y. Hence the required formulation of LPP is as follows. So the pattern which you will write it as is like this. Minimize z is equal to 3x plus 2y, subject to constraints, all the three constraints, and at the last, the non-negative constraint. So this should be your pattern, the objective function, the constraints, and your non-negative constraints. So now is the topic little bit clear how to do the sums? Okay. Moving on to the next topic, next sum. Sum number 7. Now here you won't have any table. So first you have to read and understand whether table will be there or table won't be there. So as you can see, the sum is related to again feed. A doctor has prescribed two kinds of feeds A and B to form a weekly diet. So ये diet वाला sum है. So in diet sum always we can make the table. The minimum requirement of fats, carbohydrates and proteins are 18, 28 and 14. 1 unit of food A has 4 units of fat, 14 units of carbs and 8 units of protein. On the other hand, food B has 6 units of fat, 12 units of carbs and 8 units of proteins. The price of food A is rupees 4.5 per unit and price of B is 3.5 per unit. Form the LPP for a sick person's diet meeting the requirement at a minimum cost. So class, can you all tell me the objective of this particular problem? It's none other than minimum cost. What are the constraints over here? The diet should include all the three things together. That is fats, carbs and proteins. And what are our decision variables? Tell me. The diet consists of two things. That is feed A and feed B. So we'll assume that feed A be X and feed B be Y. So we start with the solution like this. Feed A is X, feed B is Y. So as per the condition, the required table is feed A X, feed B Y. Now sum is of minimum. So we have to use the word requirements. So as we read the question, fats, carbs and proteins, I filled the details by seeing the question respectively. So as per the condition, the inequations are 4x plus 6y, again minimum. So we'll use the sign greater equal to 18. 14x plus 12y greater equal to 28. 8x plus 8y greater equal to 14. Then after the constraints are over, you have to specify the non-negative constraint, that is x comma y greater equal to 0. The objective function, as we saw, the price per unit of the product, for fodder A it was x, for fodder B it was y. So 4.5x plus 3.5y, which is your z, the objective function. So the LPP formulation will be like this. Minimize z is equal to 4.5x plus 3.5y, subject to all the three constraints, and finally the non-negative constraint, x comma y greater equal to 0. So I hope class the first three sums are clear. How to formulate the word problem of LPP is clear to you all. Okay. Now whether the concept is clear to you or not, I am giving you all three sums for assignment. Yes, you all heard me right. There are three sums from the textbook itself, from your exercise. I have sum number 3. Again, it is an assignment question. After reading the question, what is the objective, what are the constraints, which are the decision variables, answer these questions and then start preparing the solution. Similarly, you have sum number 6. Again, the same question, read the question, then answer certain questions like objectives, what are the constraints, which are the decision variables, and then start with the solution. Last but not the least, sum number 4. Again, the same thing, you can answer, read the question, see whether table will be there or not, because in previous 2 assignment questions, table is already given. So you have to read the question first and then see whether the table can be made or not. All right, class. So with this, the sums related to tabular form are over. In tomorrow's session, we'll be focusing on sums which can be solved directly, that is without forming the tables. So till then, stay safe and take care, everyone. Thank you so much.